Live from Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio, Fox Sports Ohio presents Cincinnati Reds baseball. A resplendent day for baseball on this Memorial Day weekend as the Reds and Indians play Game 2 of their 3-game set in the battle for the Ohio Cup. Hi, hello, and welcome to Cleveland, everyone. Along with the crafty left-hander Chris Welch, I'm George Grand. Reds tall order. They won, yes, at home against the Indians last year, but they've always struggled up here, and last night was no different, Chris.
Well, you're right, George. I mean, it seems like it's a home-and-home series when these two teams get together. The Reds came in here with a little bit of a losing streak. That continued last night. They didn't get good starting pitching. They need to turn that around today.
The Indians have been winning of late thanks to their starting pitching, and the Reds will get a full dose of Corey Kluber. He was last year's Cy Young Award winner in the American League, and after a rough start, Chris, he's been something else the last 2 starts.
Well, he's had a rough start, and if you look at the first 7 starts, 0-5, earned run average is up there, but still, if you look inside the games, he didn't have all that many bad games. A few bad innings really set him off. The last couple of starts, he's been outstanding. He's back to throwing first pitch strikes, and that's something the Reds hitters are going to keep in mind. Really, one way you do it against Corey Kluber is you go to the batter's box ready to swing the bat right away, because he's going to come after you with a lot of first pitch strikes. He's got a fastball that's in the mid-90s. He's got a cutter that he throws a lot of, and he's got a slider. But he's not a guy that throws a lot of change-ups. He doesn't have any trick pitches. He just has good control and comes right after the hitters.
Corey Kluber's the 29-year-old right-hander for the Cleveland Indians. For the Reds, it's the 25-year-old pitcher, Anthony DeSclafani, who's shown some brightness, but he's shown some tough times too.
Yeah, some tough times recently. Early in the year, he got off to a really good start after he had a nice spring training, but lately it's not been so good. The thing that really derailed DeSclafani is the fact that he's not been able to throw enough strikes. He's walked a lot of batters. He's walked 17 left-handers, and the Indians are loading up the lineup and lefties here this afternoon. Anthony DeSclafani, with only 13 starts in the major leagues, is probably wondering, am I good enough to be here right now? He needs to get that out of his mind and go right after the Indians. Hey, crazier things that have happened than being a guy like Corey Kluber. I say he's due. We'll see if the Reds can get it going.
People were saying that Jay Bruce was due, and boy, he has. He's gotten things going again. A multi-hit game yesterday, and I don't think there's any doubt about it. When you take a look at our T-Mobile game changer, career at Progressive Field, Chris, 19 games. He's always been pretty solid.
Well, he likes hitting here. That's a good hitting ballpark. 5-game hitting streak for Bruce. He's 9 for 18 over that period of time. The thing that I like to see about Jay Bruce is that when he gets mistake pitches, he's not missing them. Those balls that are left up out over the plate, if you foul them off, you don't get another one. Now, against Corey Kluber, you may not get too many of those, but boy, at Progressive Field, he's been dealing.
Jay Bruce swinging the big bat for the Reds. This is, of course, a Memorial Day weekend. When we return, we'll pay tribute to those who have given their lives for our great country. It's Memorial Day. It is a time for baseball. It is a time for celebrating America on this weekend. That's next on Fox Sports Ohio.
transmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
In honor of Memorial Day weekend, Fox Sports proudly supports Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. And throughout today and throughout this weekend, we'll be paying tribute to those who have fallen serving our country, and our Memorial Day tributes will be throughout today's game and tomorrow's game as well.
This Memorial Day, Fox Sports honors our fallen warriors. Joining the military at age 18, Marcus Morales spent the majority of his career looking out for his fellow soldiers as an Army medic. A devoted family man, his greatest passion was taking care of his wife and 2 children. But days before returning home for his daughter's birthday, Marcus was killed in action while on a rescue mission in Afghanistan. Fox Sports honors Sergeant Marcus Morales.
Welcome back to Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. As you can see, Brian Price is just leaving the field talking to Jimmy Reynolds, the second base umpire for today's ball game. When the 2 teams came out, Brad Mills came out to deliver the Indians lineup, and Brian Price came out to deliver the Reds lineup. And as usual, you shake hands with the umpires. Mills did shake hands with all 4 of the umpires. Brian didn't, and all of a sudden he started to talk to Jimmy Reynolds. And this, of course, a holdover from last night where the Reds were miffed a little bit at Manny Gonzalez calls behind home plate. And this continued, Chris, for a good 4 or 5 minutes, back and forth, until finally Brian Price was ejected from the game prior to the game ever starting.
You know, I'm not really sure the point that he was trying to make, or what maybe the point that he thought that he would make. But eventually they got to get the game going. Jimmy Reynolds looked like he said, all right, enough of this discussion. Let's get on to play baseball. Brian continued to try to press his point, and he's going to have to watch his ball game from the manager's office. Yeah,
and there's Manny Gonzalez, who was last night's home plate umpire. It was Reynolds who stepped right out, not Gonzalez, and confronted Price as they were going back and forth, and they engaged in a heated conversation. And about 4 minutes into that conversation, not Manny Gonzalez, but Jimmy Reynolds ejected Brian Price. So Price will be ejected from the ball game today. And Jay Bell will take over on the bench for the Reds. You saw Brian heading to the clubhouse for the Reds. And Chris, we talked to the Reds players before the game and after the game last night. They felt that the strike calls, the ball strike calls from Gonzalez behind home plate were not consistent. Not that they were different from inning to inning. And that was what started it last night, and it continued through today.
Well, they were inconsistent. There's no question about it. You can look at the game tape last night. I don't think he had one of his better games, Gonzalez, that is. But at the same time, when you lost 6 in a row, you're looking for blame everywhere you look. And sometimes it's better to look in the mirror.
And it wasn't Manny Gonzalez, but it was Jimmy Reynolds who ejected Price. So here we go. Second pitch swinging. Phillips sends this into the hole, and he'll beat it out for a base hit. So Brandon Phillips continues his hot hitting from the leadoff spot. He's in at .312, 2 homers, 18 knocked in. Career against Cleveland, he's over 300 at .346, and he's always saved a little bit for the team that brought him to the major leagues.
You got to remind yourself that Brandon is still playing with a toe injury. I mean, he just gets out there and gets after it.
Well, the Reds get a runner on here in the top of the first, and here comes Skip Schumacher. Brian Price has shuffled the lineup a bit. Schumacher will bat second, and Brendan Bosch will hit in the number 8 position. 2 insertions into the lineup. Here's Corey Kluber from the stretch, with Phillips off first. Showing bunt, fouled off at home plate. We'll try it again. Let's check the Meyer starting lineup for Brian Price and the Reds for game 2 of this series. Schumacher in the number 2 spot. Votto hits third. Todd Frazier had an RBI again last night on a double. Jay Bruce had a multi-hit game last night and has a 5-game hitting streak. Pena, Cozart, Bosch, and Hamilton. That is 1 through 9. Your Reds lineup. And on the mound, Chris, Corey Kluber, last 2 times out, has been just exceptional.
Well, he has been exceptional, George, like he was most of last season when he won the Cy Young Award. 18-9 last year with an earned run average of 2.4. This year, the earned run average is up there only because he got off to not really a bad start. First few starts were okay. Middle starts were not good at all. But he is back on the beam and lots of strikeouts and very few walks.
30 strikeouts the last 2 games for Kluber. After starting out slowly, he's showing the form that enabled him to win the Cy Young Award last year.
The 1-5 record, again, we go back to the record of a starting pitcher is probably the worst barometer as to how you judge the guy. The Indians are simply not getting him any runs at all. In fact, they're scoring fewer for him than the Reds score for Johnny Cueto, and that's hard to do.
From the stretch, fouled off by Schumacher.
And you're going to see Kluber strike after strike after strike. If you're a young pitcher at home or if you're coaching young pitchers, this is the guy you want to model your game plan after. I mean, he has no fear of throwing his fastball. Yes, it's in the 90s, but it's not the most overpowering fastball in the big leagues. It's not the best slider in the big leagues. But he just pounds the strike zone pitch after pitch.
No balls, 2 strikes. Fouled again. Good at bat from Schumacher, who's 1 for 3 in his career against Kluber. And if there's one big difference between Corey Kluber of the first few starts and his last 2, it is strike 1. He's been ahead of batters. If you talk to the Indians, they feel that he may have fallen in love with his cutter a little bit too much, and he was getting behind early in counts. But he's been ahead in counts the last 2 games, and he's pitched about as well as you can with those 30 strikeouts, 18 in one game and 12 in another. Hit hard. Kipnis bobbles. They'll get 1 at second, on to first. They'll turn a pair. 34th double play for the Indians. So the Reds get a base runner, and slow to get up at second is Phillips. He's a little gimpy as he heads towards the dugout. Let's check your forward defensive alignment for the Indians. Cleveland comes in 11th in the American League defensively. They were worst in all of baseball last year with 116 errors. This year they've got 29 compared to the Reds only 17. It is Kluber on the mound, Perez behind the plate, Chisenhall, Ramirez, Kipnis, and Santana across the infield. Murphy's in left, and Brandon Moss, who had the big bat last night with a homer and a double, is over in right. As usual, Michael Bourne's in center. So a 4-6-3 double play. Here's Joey, a bullet into right center. That's a base hit.
Well, you can see the game plan that the Reds have, which is being as aggressive as Corey Kluber. If you know a guy's going to be coming after you with a first pitch strike, and normally Kluber it'll be a first pitch fastball. Well, you get it ready and you get ready to swing the bat.
Last night, Votto was one of the Reds, who questioned this ball strike calls of Gonzalez. He got a base hit his first time up and then struck out 3 times, twice looking, and each time the called third strike looking, Joey argued with the home plate umpire. If you're just joining us, Brian Price ejected before the game ever started. Phillips is erased on the double play ball, and Frazier, first pitch swinging, hits a rocket down to third, but Chisenhall takes care of it, and the Reds get a couple of hits in the first, but nothing to show for it. To the bottom of 1 we go, scoreless. Stay close to CincinnatiUSA.com. Buy Chevy. Check out our award-winning lineup only at your tri-state Chevy dealer. And buy Skyline Chili. Hey, feeling good? It's Skyline time. Let's check Tito Francona's starting lineup for the Indians. Jason Kipnis, one of the hottest hitters in the American League, will lead it off. Last night, another big night for him. Santana bats second. Murphy in the number 3 spot. Brandon Moss had the homer and double last night. Hits cleanup. Nick Swisher, the switch hitter, is in the DH position tonight. Chisenhall, Ramirez, Perez, and Bourne. That is 1 through 9. And here's Anthony DeSclafani.
Well, start number 9 for Anthony. He started off with such a ball of fire. He raised the expectation bar quite high. He's come back down to earth a little bit, even though that earned run average is still very respectable. He gets a lot of strikeouts, but the walk column is the problem that has cost him a couple of ball games.
3-hit game for Kipnis last night to get his average up to 337. Started out slowly in the month of April, but boy, has he turned things on in the month of May. In the American League, he's first in hits with 57 coming in. He's 4th in average. His on-base percentage has been in the top 4 or 5 the whole month of May. And during this month, he's hitting .463 with 3 homers and 11 knocked in. That's the kind of production you need from your leadoff spot. Locked him up. DeSclafani does. That's a swing and a miss for strikeout number 1.
A lot of life on that fastball up there. That 4-seamer that DeSclafani had early in the year. He was looking for a little more life in his fastball, trying a couple of mechanical adjustments in the bullpens he's had between starts. After a nice little 2-seamer, he goes upstairs with a 4-seamer, and that's a blowaway job there.
We should talk about adjustments for a young pitcher. What are the adjustments that DeSclafani has to make?
Well, he has to believe that his stuff is good enough to pitch in the big leagues. And I think when you go out there and you get knocked around a little bit, you're thinking, uh-oh, do I really belong here? And that's the biggest thing, I think, for a young guy, that he has. He's got 8 starts this year under his belt. He only had 5 last year, so he's still, he's a rookie. And it's all really mental. He's got plenty good enough stuff. He just has to learn how to place it and go after the hitters.
Reds overshift against Santana. Carlos in at .212, 4 homers, 22 knocked in. Spent a couple of days out of the lineup with a sore back. Came back in the lineup last night for the Indians and contributed with a run scoring double in the 7th inning. His lone hit of the night. Big swing and a strike. And that's back-to-back strikeouts for Anthony DeSclafani.
Well, that ought to boost your confidence a little bit. If you're struggling a little bit, you come out there in the 1st inning, you're facing the current Cy Young Award winner. You know, and you go out and you punch out the first 2 guys in the lineup. You say, you know what? I'm not pitching against Corey Kluber. I'm pitching against the Indians lineup. I can handle that.
Well, that's so important, isn't it? You know, when you face a big-time pitcher, just pitch your game.
Exactly.
Here's Murphy. He's been hot of late. .483 in the last 11 games. He's in at the number 3 hole this afternoon at .321, 3 homers, 8 knocked in. Split time in the designated hitter rule and in left field as well as right field for the Indians so far. And if you joined us late again, Brian Price ejected before the game ever began. We watched when Brian came out with the lineup card, and usually he'll come out. Brad Mills came out from the other dugout to bring the Indians lineup card, and usually there'll be some pleasantries and a shake of the hands. Mills shook all of the lineup, all of the umpires' hands. Brian didn't, and he started a heated conversation with Jimmy Reynolds, and eventually, which of course was the holdover from last night's problems with the home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez, and eventually he was ejected after about a 4-minute dissertation back and forth. Second time this year Price has been ejected. Good start for DeSclafani. To the second we go, scoreless. Time for our IGS bringing the energy stats of the afternoon. Corey Kluber, last year the Cy Young Award winner. This year is American League ranked 76 strikeouts. Chris, he's first. 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's been something else.
Well, I like that bottom number the best. The strikeouts per walks is what you're talking about. Kluber, you know, we say it over and over how he comes right after the hitters. The reason he keeps his team in ball games is because if you're going to get to him, you've got to hit him. He's not going to walk you.
Starts Bruce off with a breaking ball for strike one. Jay, followed by Pena, then Cozart. 5, 6, and 7 for the Reds. For Bruce, season high 5-game hitting streak for him. That's a rocket shot. There's another base hit. 6-game hitting streak for Jay, and finally he's starting to come around and starting to heat up here in the series in Cleveland. Second straight inning, the Reds get the leadoff hitter on. Get him on, get him over, get him in. The Reds have struggled in doing that. They continue to struggle with runners in scoring position. Continue to struggle in opportunities to get the big hits. Trying to put something together here in the second. Here comes Pena. Short lead for Jay. He was out trying to steal last night. The Reds had 2 base runners thrown out at second base. They continue to lead the National League with 43 stolen bases, and they've been caught 9 times. From the stretch, Kluber. Bruce going nowhere. That's it. Pretty good towards the corner. Hooking towards the foul line. It's a fair ball. Here comes Bruce around second, heading to third. Riggleman will hold him there, and it's a 2-base hit for Brian Pena. Pena continues to hit well. He's over 300 coming in, and he gives the Reds second and third with no one out here in the second.
That's 4 hits out of 5 batters that the Reds have run up there. So today, even though he is wearing the Cy Young Award on his chest, Corey Kluber has been very hittable. He's throwing the breaking ball up in the air like that. I mean, around waist high, and that's going to get hit hard just about every time. Bruce turned on a fastball. Votto turned on a fastball. Phillips got a fastball to lead the game off with an infield hit. So the Reds are putting it in play, and the Indians are willing to give up a run. How about that?
They'll keep the infield back. Even at the bag at third is Chisenhall. Even with the bag at first is Santana. Cozart in at 278, 6 homers, 17 knocked in. Those power numbers, the best among shortstops in the National League for the first quarter of the season. Kluber will continue to work from the stretch. Average speed on the bases for the Reds here. Outfield, straightaway, and mid-range.
You know, strikeouts can be kind of a gaudy number that really don't mean a whole lot. But when you get a strikeout at the key time, that's when they mean a lot. And this is a key time both for Kluber and for Zach Cozart. Cozart simply wants to put the ball in play or somewhere and get a run. Kluber knows a strikeout is a way out of this inning.
Just a productive out the Reds need here to get a run. Fouled off last night. The Reds took a lead 1-0 in the second inning with runners at second and third. Hamilton grounded out to second to give Cincinnati a 1-0 lead. Cozart's been successful with a runner on third and less than 2 outs most of the time this year.
That high fastball just set up a little breaking ball. They're going to go probably down and away, waste the pitch right here, and you see if you can't get Zach Cozart to chase it like he did last night.
Nasty break, but low.
Well, it took him 17 pitches, but he's finally thrown one out of the strike zone.
That's Corey Kluber's method of operating. Strike 1, strike 2, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes here. Perez setting up down and away again. Trying to go to the right side is Cozart and hangs in there, fouling it off. Cozart was one of those when you talked to him after the game. He said, and he had talked to Manny Gonzalez a couple of times. He said, you know, you got to give us something. You can't call him wide and in and then high and low. And that's the kind of night that Gonzalez had. All the borderline pitches went to the pitcher last night. That started the brouhaha that ended with Price being ejected today. That misses on the outside corner. And I give Brian Price credit, Chris. You know, it's up to players to motivate a team. But if you're struggling, you're in a losing streak, change the lineup. He did that. Bosch and Schumacher in the lineup. And maybe this can help to ignite a team, too.
I don't know if I ever believe that. I mean, you want your manager fiery. You want to know that he's on your side and all that. But I never really thought that getting ejected is a way to get runs on the board.
Hanging in there is Cozart.
I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that everybody in that dugout knows that Brian Price is on their side. He's got their backs all the time and vice versa. I just think it's frustration seeping out of just about every hole there is.
Sure. You're in a under 500 scenario, 18-23, 8.5 games back coming in and trying to create some offensive momentum any way you can. The Reds trying to do that here with second and third, no one out in the second. And great at bat by Cozart. If he gets even a ground ball out of this to get a run in against Kluber, he's hung tough. 2-2. Bruce single, Pena double, second and third for the Reds. In the air, that'll get a run in. Moss will head back, having trouble with the sun, shades his eyes. Pena's tagging, going from second to third, and the run will score. What an at bat for Zach Cozart. He battles 2-2, finally gets a ball to elevate, and he'll get some high fives as he heads to the dugout, and the Reds on the board lead it 1-0.
Hitting eighth for Cincinnati, the right fielder, number 27, Brennan Moss.
Doesn't always take a hit. Sometimes a productive out will get the job done.
Well, and sometimes just refusing to make an out that is not a productive out. And you could just see the resolve in Cozart there, just battling, just trying to stay alive, knowing if he can get it out there, he's going to really pick the entire team up. Ball club needs to get a lead and hold on to it.
Indians will bring the infield in. Pena, not a speedy runner at third, and here's Bosch with one away, hitting in the 8th spot. Bosch is in there because he's 3 for 6 against Kluber in his career. Gets an infrequent start, and one of the difficult scenarios that a manager has to try to negotiate during the season is to get his bench players some at bats, and Schumacher and Bosch are both in there today. Again from the stretch is Kluber. Ball and a strike.
You know, one of the other reasons why Bosch is in there along with Schumacher is that they're both left-handed. Kluber, his batting average against right-handed hitters is right around 200, and there are an awful lot of really good right-handed hitters in baseball that he's faced. So why not give a little bit of an advantage and load up with as many lefties as you have? The Reds don't have that many, but they've got just about everyone they've got in there today.
Ball and a strike. Waves at that, and it's 1-2. 7th start of the season for Bosch. He started in center field and in right field.
Yeah, the good news is you're getting a start today, Brennan.
Yeah.
The bad news is you got Corey Kluber on the hill. Doesn't matter. I mean, when you're an extra guy, that's normally what happens.
Yep. Hamilton on deck for the Reds. Setting up, down and away. Perez. That's sliced foul. By the way, the Indians did get Yan Gomes back to the ballpark today. Their number 1 catcher has been out for 6 weeks with a knee injury, caught in Columbus last night, and he is expected to start tomorrow. They toyed with the idea of starting him today because he and Kluber are so close, and they've worked so close together. Back when Kluber got his Cy Young Award, was given to him in New York, he said, "I'm not going unless you come with me," and Yan Gomes flew to New York with him. Swing and a miss. He got him. Oh, the second out of the inning, and here comes Hamilton.
Now that's why it was so important to get that run in when you had runner at third base, less than 2 outs. Had another chance right here if you could put the ball in play, but that's a pretty good breaking ball. Bosch goes after and comes up empty.
So here's Billy. Third and first, pinched in tight to the bag. He pushes a bunt past the pitcher, and he's got another run in here.
Well, it's not necessary, though, for Brian Pena to score if he pushes a bunt past the pitcher. If he doesn't think that he can make it, it may be very likely that it's easier to get Pena at home than it would be Billy Hamilton at first base. So don't make the third out just because you think you have to come home on a bunt. I don't think Hamilton's bunting here anyway.
Keep the line moving. Just get some runners on. Hamilton hit a .208, 3 homers, 9 knocked in. The stoic right-hander for the Indians peers in for his sign from Perez. Looped into center. Who will get there? Bourne comes in, calling everybody off. He's got it. The Reds, a promising inning, a single and a double. They get a sacrifice fly from Cozart, lead it 1-0. second. Let's check your 4 defensive alignment for the Reds, who come in second in the National League, having committed only 17 errors. Schumacher and Bosch, the insertions into the lineup in the outfield, flanking Hamilton. And the usual alignment across the infield: Frazier, Cozart, Phillips, and Votto. And Pena catches DeSclafani. That's your 4 defensive alignment. So Cozart's sacrifice fly gets the Reds on the board. And here's Brandon Moss. He provided the power. You see Cozart shifting over behind the second base bag. They'll overshift on Moss with only Frazier on the left side of the infield. The Reds shifting much more this year in a period of time the last 4 years where defensive shifting has become more and more commonplace. The Reds have had a blend of scouting and analytics to come up with their numbers, and will change from pitch to pitch and scenario to scenario. I mean, 4 years ago there were about 2,000 shifts. Last year there were 14,000. That's how rapidly the scene has changed in Major League Baseball. And things have changed rapidly for Brandon Moss too, Chris. Almost out of baseball. He's rejuvenated his career in last 26 games. Has come up with 6 homers and 25 knocked in, and that's what he is. He's a power guy. He's not going to hit for average.
Yeah, you're right. He's going to swing and miss a lot, and I think the Indians are very happy with what they've gotten out of him production-wise so far. Injured in spring training. We didn't see much of him at all down in Goodyear. But they want a left-handed thumper in the lineup there to kind of act as an enforcer, to hit a mistake pitch now and then. And here he is in the number 4 spot.
3-2. That's miss it inside, ball 4. First walk issued by DeSclafani. Leadoff batter on here in the second. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, I look forward to Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's Swisher, and if the Indians had their druthers, they signed Swisher, hopeful that this switch hitter would be their everyday right fielder and provide power from both sides of the plate. When he faltered due to injury and low performance last year, they went this year to Moss and Rayburn platooning in right, and Swisher now back in the lineup. He homered 2 days ago for his first homer of the year. Votto taps the bag. They get it out, and they'll get 2, a double play. Second time in 2 nights that Joey Votto has been able to turn a tough play into a 3-6 tag 'em double play at second.
You know, this is an amazing play, and Joey Votto plays first base unlike any other first baseman in baseball. He plays it like an artist. Look at him just flip the ball underhand, and it lands right on the spot for Zach Cozart to apply the tag.
That's as good of a play you'll see from a first baseman at any time, and they get the runner at second. Wow.
You know, you may think that was a lot of luck, and it probably was, but Joey Votto plays catch, throwing the ball like that a lot. You know, goofing around, warming up, whatever. And I mean, you just don't flip the ball underhanded on the money without having done it a little bit before.
Sometimes unconventional. At times he has committed a couple of errors, but the last 2 games he's come up with 2 brilliant plays. And that got his pitcher out of trouble there. Big swing by Chisenhall, fouled off.
You know, years ago, the Reds made a deal with the Indians, and they picked up a shortstop named Tony Fernandez.
Yeah.
And Fernandez, you know, they didn't have a spot for him to play shortstop with the Reds because Barry Larkin was there. So they moved him to third base, and he played the most unusual third base you ever saw. But he could really get it done. And Votto is the same way. I mean, he falls down when he fields ground balls to his right. He throws the ball underhand. He's playing it really, as I said, more like an artist than a normal first baseman.
Artiste, huh?
But hey,
I like that. An artist.
As long as you're getting it done, who cares, right?
You know, that year Tony Fernandez should have won the Gold Glove. Matt Williams won it because Matt Williams was Matt Williams. He hit as well as fielded. Sky high pop up in the infield. Cozart under it. He'll squeeze it. Double play. Got DeSclafani out of trouble. A walk, no harm. Reds go back to work. Top of the order. Phillips do. And now for a chance to win a trip to the MLB All-Star Game on Fox for you and 3 of your friends. Upload 2 photos at foxsports.com/fantastic all-star now through June the 3rd. Coming to Cincinnati, the All-Star Experience, and it'll be a tremendous week. Of course, they've had the All-Star Game here in Cleveland. The last time was '97. And what a game that was for Sandy Alomar. Wound up being the MVP. Alomar now the first base coach and probably a future major league manager on this Cleveland Indians staff. Here's Phillips up for the second time in 3 innings. He singled in the first, but was erased on a double play. Votto also singled in the first. The Reds have had 2 hits the first 2 innings, and they managed to get 1 run in on the sacrifice fly from Zach Cozart. 1-0 Cincinnati. Now, if you call Joey Votto an artiste, what do you call Brandon Phillips?
Well, he's just a good old-fashioned throwback ball player. and he's a complete player. You know, you always go. I like to go back to what Joe Morgan talks about baseball players, and he says when he was growing up, his goal was to be a complete player, to be a guy who could field, who could hit with some power, who could steal bases, who always was in the right place at the right time. And that's really where Brandon Phillips is. He finds himself, you know, in the play more than watching the play because he knows where to be half the time.
Boy, he has come to the Reds' rescue so many times over the last 4 or 5 years when they've struggled in a leadoff spot. Dusty Baker did it. Brian Price has done it. The guy who usually gets the Reds finally right is Brandon Phillips in the leadoff spot.
Well, and he plays through a lot of nicks and bruises. Half the time he's not, you know, 100% out there, but he still will go get it. Because he knows that him at 80% is probably better than his replacement at 100%.
And he's got turf toe right now, and most guys might be sitting out for a week or so. But he's still playing out there every day. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Reds' leadoff hitter. And you mentioned Joe Morgan. Morgan has been so unselfish in helping Brandon grow up as a major leaguer and as a person. And yeah, I mean, you look at the numbers. I mean, right now, Brandon is #1 in most offensive categories in the history of the Reds statistically. Joe Morgan will always be the greatest second baseman that ever played for the Reds. But think of it. Think of those numbers in terms of where Phillips has come from. Full count. Got him. Chisenhall takes the toss from Perez as Kluber gets his second strikeout of the afternoon. Well, Chris, the Reds had a lead last night, but you say late in the game. This is the first time on this road trip in the 6-game losing streak where they've had a lead after the second inning. That's how rough things have been.
Well, have been, and they've been frustrating. And, you know, you come to the ballpark earlier and earlier, and you take more BP, and you take more ground balls, and you throw a few more extra pitches in the bullpens, and you hope that that's going to correct it. There's not a lot you can do except just keep plugging away. But you get a win today against Corey Kluber, and that will change everybody's attitude. Got a long way to go, though.
2 Hopper down to second. Schumacher, who bounced into a double play first time up to second base, bounces out here, 2 away, and here comes Votto.
The other thing to think about is the fact that, you know, the 4 of the first 6 batters that Kluber faced today got base hits. And if you don't get a guy like Kluber, who's an outstanding pitcher, if you don't get him early, sometimes he figures out what's going on and what his pitch grip may not be just right here in the first inning, and then he starts buckling down here as he starts to get maybe 20-30 pitches under his belt. And here he is right at the 39 pitch mark, and he's got 2 batters up and 2 batters down here in the 3rd inning.
You know, as you were a starting pitcher and you were a bullpen guy too, and I think this might have been part of Mike Leake's problem last night. As a starter, you want to get into a groove. You want to work from your full windup and get comfortable. Leake never was allowed to do that last night as he worked from the stretch, and same thing for Kluber the last 2 innings. There's Joe. He singled to right in the first inning and was left stranded. Mike Leake last night, 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs allowed. 2 subpar performances from Leake. And you hope it's just a blip on the radar screen.
Well, you know, he's got a good enough track record that that's the first thing that you would believe. I mean, if he was a rookie coming up for the first time and he had back-to-back outings like that and he can't find the strike zone, then you may have more worries. But, you know, as long as he fixed whatever he thinks that mechanical flaw is, to let him throw the ball where he wants to, he'll be back on track.
2-1.
I mean, with the recent news about Johnny Cueto missing his start tomorrow, maybe it's a complete start in the rotation before he's able to come back again. Nobody really knows yet whether it's day to day, whether he's going to miss a start, whether he's going to miss more starts. He's got some soreness in his elbow. Cueto does. Well, you need Leake even more than ever before.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And again, if you're just joining us, 3 bits of information. Number 1, Brian Price ejected before the game. In the continuation of the argument from last night's ball game, ejected by Jim Reynolds. Number 1, Johnny Cueto scratched from his start, some general soreness in the upper forearm area. And Devin Mesoraco not in the DH role, and in all probability when the Reds head home they'll make a decision. And Chris, I think it's pretty evident they're heading towards getting surgery on Mesoraco's hip. And you know, and some people might believe it should have been done earlier, but they waited as long as they could to see if in fact he might be able to play through it and be able to get back to catching again. But that's become less and less possible.
Well, let's hope whatever the procedure they do, he's able to come back and live as a normal baseball player and hopefully catch and catch at the level he caught before, because he was really coming on.
And from all indications, everyone that we've talked to, the procedure is not a complicated one. The recovery time should put him in good position to be ready and be 100% next year. But for a guy who's worked so hard to become a complete player, it's been a frustrating year for him. Votto down the left field line, curving, it'll go fouling into the seats.
Hey, the Reds are giving Kluber a few really good at bats. Cozart, you mentioned before, he had a sacrifice fly. Even the strikeout with Brandon Phillips went 3-2 before they got it out. And Votto's giving him about all he can handle right here too.
Get the pitch count up for a guy that has been on a roll the last 3 games. Rocket shot by Joey into right center field, a base hit. Another good at bat. Bourne has the ball, stick in the grass. Votto's going to get 2 and hold there. Bourne was shaded towards left center with Votto in a 2-strike count. He had a long way to come, and the ball just kind of divoted off the tip of his glove and just stopped.
Well, Votto gets a fastball that he just brings his hands in on and gets the head of the bat through. That choking up really helped him do that. And Bourne went over there to try to grab it, and boy, it must be slick out there because everybody's slipping and sliding except Votto going in a second.
By the way, those of you that were with us last night and saw Joey get kicked in the foot by Kipnis, the foot a little sore today, but he said he's fine and ready to go, and he's in the lineup. 2-bagger number 6 for Votto. Another runner in scoring position for the Reds. Here's Frazier, grounded to third first time up. Down to third, foul past Jim Riggleman in the third base coach's box. As usual, down at first, Billy Hatcher for the Reds. There's the former major league manager and last year the AAA manager for the Reds down at Louisville. And there's the Hatch man reaching for those sunflower seeds, huh?
They're in there somewhere.
He was flawless last night. Had 3 ground balls. It looked pretty good at first base. Strike 1. That's in there for strike 2.
Well, that's a sharp breaking ball right there. The difference between that breaking ball, I mean, that's a big slider. It's got a lot of break on it, but it reads as a fastball until it's about 3/4 of the way to the plate. Some guys, you can see the slider coming out of your hand. You can pick up the spin right from the get-go, but not with Kluber.
This is a 4 o'clock start game, and at this time of the year, by the time we get to late in the game, these shadows are going to be a factor in the infield and for who's ever on the mound.
They're going to help the guy on the mound.
Yep.
In fact, this is a pretty good day to pitch anyway. The shadow is one thing. The wind blowing in, you don't get that here often.
You pitchers think of that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
1-2. Waved at it, got him. That's 3 strikeouts for Kluber. Reds get a double from Votto. Nothing to show for it. They lead 1-0 to the bottom 3 for the Indians.
General stiffness and soreness after they make their start. His has been lingering a little bit longer. He's been our workhorse. There's just no, he probably could pitch tomorrow if we had to have him, but we don't. You know, we've got alternatives. We've been carrying Iglesias and Lorenzen in our bullpen. They're inevitably going to be back in the starting rotation, so we can plug Rysel in tomorrow and make sure that Johnny has adequate rest before we put him back on the mound.
Brian Price, before today's game, Johnny Cueto will skip his scheduled start tomorrow. Rysel Iglesias will pitch against Trevor Bauer. We'll be on the air with Reds Live at 12:30. The game will follow at 1. Here's Jose Ramirez, the shortstop, followed by Perez and then Bourne, 7, 8, and 9. And Chris, with a product and a pitcher like Johnny Cueto, you don't want to take any chances, huh?
Well, you don't want to take chances with anybody, George, and you really have to go with what the pitcher and the trainer and maybe the doctor say about the whole thing, but really mainly what Johnny says. And, you know, if he feels like he needs a couple of extra days, you give him a couple extra days. Really no big deal. What you don't want to do is, you know, is have him get into a situation where, you know, that the elbow problem becomes chronic and it just never leaves. But I can tell you that pitchers rarely go through a season where your arm feels good for very long. I mean, you may get a few starts a year where it feels great, but most of the time you're feeling something somewhere.
Ramirez slaps it high in the air to left. Schumacher under it, got it, and there's one away. Well, so far for DeSclafani, 1 walk. That was erased on a double play in the second. Chris, he looks like he's on his game right now.
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with, you know, the game plan of coming right after him. And the other part of it is, I mean, you got to figure DeSclafani is excited as can be about being on the same mound on the same day as Corey Kluber. I mean, he looks across there thinking, you know, I know this guy's a Cy Young Award winner, but I'm going to show them that I can pitch too. And it gives you a little extra motivation.
The 25-year-old digs in, facing Roberto Perez in at 182, 3 homers, 7 knocked in. Last 6 weeks, Perez has been the #1 catcher with Yan Gomes on the disabled list. Gomes caught 7 innings 3 days ago, 9 innings last night in Columbus, and was back with the club taking batting practice today. He will be in the lineup tomorrow as Trevor Bauer's catcher, and they'll be happy to get him back. And that goes on both sides of the ball. I don't think there's any doubt that they miss his bat. He's a silver bat winner behind the plate, but you know, he and Corey Kluber were so close, and a lot of folks believe that one of the problems with Kluber's slow start was that he didn't have Yan Gomes behind the plate. what Perez will give you, as will Santana. They'll walk a lot. Jay Bruce next to Jay Bell. If you joined us late, Bell is managing this game as Brian Price ejected before the game ever started by Jim Reynolds after a continuation of last night's questioning of the home plate umpire. Manny Gonzalez calls.
Well, our flamethrower brought to you by Cholula Hot Sauce. Is that fastball right there on a 2-2 count pass Roberto Perez? I still don't know how a guy who's batting 180 walks that much. I mean, you don't walk him if you throw him strikes. You should find out whether he can hit or not. I had that discussion with actually one of the Indians coaches today, and he's as befuddled as I am. You get down to the bottom of the order, you got these guys hitting 200, 170, and so on, and they're among the league leaders in walks.
Bourne lines it to center. His counterpart, Billy Hamilton, hauls it in 1-2-3 for Disco. Bruce leads it off with a 6-game hitting streak. Times, and they were questioning all night long the ball strike calls. Jay Bruce saying there's no way that can be a strike to Manny Gonzalez. He did not strike out on the night. Marlon Byrd did strike out. He questioned him on a number of occasions. That discussion continued before the game. Jimmy Reynolds and Brian Price went at it as they exchanged lineup cards, and by the time 4 minutes of that went on, Reynolds eventually ejected Brian. Price ejected for the second time this year. Here's Bruce, who singled to stretch his hitting streak to 6 straight in the second. That started a Reds rally. He singled. Pena doubled. Cozart sacrifice fly gave the Reds a 1-0 lead. Ripped towards the corner by Bruce. It is one hop to the wall. Jay around first, going to second. He'll cruise into second base with his 3rd double of the season. And boy, has he turned things around in the last week, Chris.
Well, he really has. And so far in this ball game today, he's picked on a high fastball, and now he gets a cutter. And that ball just kind of hung out over the plate for Jay, and he put a good swing on it and lined it into right field.
One hop carrying off the 325 sign, and Jay's in scoring position.
You know, hitting is contagious. It seems like when a couple of guys go into a slump and then a third guy goes into a slump, then before you know it, nobody on the ball club's hitting. And then it can work the other way too. Get a couple of guys hot, and then everybody else kind of picks it up a little bit.
Kluber back from the stretch. Bruce off second. Here's Pena, who doubled first time up. That'll get the runner to there. They're going to try for him at third, and he's going to be a dead duck.
Well, when you have a former catcher playing first base with a rocket arm, and you know, we used to see this a little bit with Albert Pujols playing first base. He was an extremely smart first baseman with a really good arm. He was an infielder like a third baseman when he first came up. And here Martinez gets it, fires right across the infield, and it didn't even have to be a great throw, just somewhere in the vicinity. And you got Brian Pena. But you don't blame Pena. I mean, Jay Bruce, that is. You don't blame Jay Bruce because you're taught anything to your left when you're leading off second base, you go to third base. So it's just one of those plays where the defense does a little bit better.
Force them to make a play, and they made the play. So Pena's on. Here's Cozart. Sacrifice fly, knocked in his 18th run of the season, gave the Reds a 1-0 lead in the second.
You know, you only see that play about 2 times a year.
Yeah, you're right. It's better when it happens to the other team, isn't it?
Yeah. And there really aren't all that many first basemen around the league that trust their arm enough to throw it across the diamond.
Down to third, Chisenhall guns it across to get the out. Pena goes to second. Hey, MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and a whole lot more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. There's Bosch, who struck out first time up. The Reds another runner in scoring position. They got singles from Phillips and Votto in the first, didn't score. Single from Bruce, double from Pena in the second, scored on a sacrifice fly. In the third, a double from Votto, he was left stranded, and here a leadoff double from Bruce. So the Reds already on the afternoon have 6 hits. One strike to Bosch. So tomorrow we'll be on the air 12:30 with Reds Live. Raisel Iglesias will go against Trevor Bauer, and Bauer is another right-hander for this Indians team that has pitched exceptionally well of late. Last 2 starts he has been at the top of his game, and the Reds looking forward to another peek at Raisel Iglesias. That was a pretty special day when he won his first. 0-2. And another strikeout. That is number 4 for Kluber. Reds continue to lead at 1-0. Top of the order, Kipnis due up. Indians leadoff hitter Jason Kipnis. He is the highlight of our storylines brought to you by Elk and Elk. And every manager loves to have the table set or get things going at the top of the order. And since Kipnis moved to the leadoff spot on April the 26th, Chris, these numbers tell you the story.
Well, you're right, George, and I think it's more than just moving to the leadoff spot. It's not a magic move that you put a guy in a different spot in the order, all of a sudden becomes a good hitter. He's always been a good hitter, but boy, he is riding a wave right now that it's uncanny. So the Indians are getting guys on base. They're scoring a few more runs, especially during this little mini win streak they have. A lot of it has to do with Kipnis. I mean, in the month of May, completely off the charts as far as on base percentage.
He struck out first time up. DeSclafani struck out 2 of the 3 he faced in the first and picked up his 3rd strikeout in the 3rd. So he's gone toe to toe with Kluber, and so far so good. Fouled off, and he's 1 ball 1 strike to the leadoff hitter again.
Well, he's throwing his fastball for strikes. You don't see him nibbling at the outside corner early in the count, the ball running away and not getting early strikes. When you start going bad as a pitcher, you give the hitter too much credit. And when you start going bad as a hitter, you give the pitcher too much credit.
On the corner for a strike, 2-2.
All right, last time he came right up the ladder to strike him out on a high fastball. Same count.
Pena rolls through its sign. Want a fastball in. Got him. 4 strikeouts for DeSclafani. 1 away here in the 4th. Here comes Santana.
DeSclafani has 2 fastballs. One's a riding 4-seamer that he throws up. He got a strikeout the previous time from Kipnis on that one. This one was a 2-seamer, a sinker that had nice downward movement.
Chris, there's a similarity between these 2 right-handers. I mean, Corey Kluber, very stoic, quiet, on all business when he's on the mound, and DeSclafani's out of the same mold.
Boy, don't you wish DeSclafani could grow into a Corey Kluber?
Mm-hmm. Well, the Reds and the Red scouting staff, Walt Jocketty's staff, hope that that's exactly what they'll end up with, and he was the player brought back in the Matt Latos deal with Miami.
Latos, by the way, on the disabled list now with the Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
Left his last start after being hit with a line drive on his ankle, but I think his DL stint is because of his knee.
Santana struck out first time up. Reds overshift to the right side against him.
Now that last pitch right there was way wide and high. I mean, that was a typical fly open. And this is when you've got to be your own pitching coach. Tell yourself, all right, well, what did I do in the bullpen to work on that? How do I change it on the fly?
Three and one. Rocketed towards right. 1 hop off the wall. And it'll be a 2-base hit for Santana, his 5th of the season. Got that up a little bit. Boy, did he make him pay.
Well, he got behind 3-0, and Santana saw a lot of pitches. On this play, though, Jay Bruce looks like he's ready to return the favor to Santana, who threw him out in the previous inning. He's waiting for this ball to come off the scoreboard in right field and come right to him. And had it done that, I think he would have had a good shot at getting him out of second base, but it kind of hit softly, bounced on him. And that's not Bruce out there, it's Bosch. Bruce is DHing. But Bosch would have had a shot at him.
So a runner at second, 1 out, and here's Murphy, fly to center first time up, and there's a strike. The Indians have some interchangeable parts in the outfield, and Terry Francona's tried to give them their at-bats and keep them in the lineup when they're hot. Murphy's one of those. Since May the 9th, he's at 483. Santana short lead off second, down to first, but foul. Past Sandy Alomar, the first base coach for Terry Francona, and the longtime Indian catcher, a member of the Indians Hall of Fame, son of Sandy Alomar Sr., brother of Roberto Alomar, the Hall of Famer. And as usual, Mike Sarbar is over in the third base coach's box for Cleveland. Good save by Pena. 2-2. On the corner, great pitch. 2 strikeouts in inning, 5 strikeouts on the afternoon, 2 away, and here comes Moss.
Now the Reds have to be a little bit happy with the strike zone today than where they were last night with Manny Gonzalez behind the plate. That's Sean Barber ringing up the number 3 hitter.
So here's Brandon. He walked to lead off the second, was erased on a brilliant double play effort by Joey Votto at first. The Reds will overshift against Moss. This one hit deep. If it's fair, it's trouble. Curving, it'll go foul. That just hooked big time in the last 100 feet down the line. And nice catch. And Pena will go out, give his young right-hander a location pep talk.
Well, that ball was so inside, there's no way that Moss is going to keep it fair anyway. I mean, he's a dead red hitter, loves the fastball, especially early in the count. You give him something he's looking for, but if you keep it a little bit more inside, he can't stay off of it, but he can't keep it fair either.
Strike one to Moss.
I think he's opened up even a little bit more now.
Stay out there, huh?
Well, you move it around. I mean, there's not really many hitters left that you can go to one spot over and over again and get them out.
Ball and a strike.
That's a good spot right there. That's one of the things that really impressed me about DeSclafani right from the very get-go is his ability to throw the ball consistently to the first base side of home plate. That's a tough spot for right-handers to get to, but he's got good direction with his delivery. Doesn't throw across his body very much, and he can get his hips open and get it in there.
Two right-handers that work from different sides of the rubber. DeSclafani towards the third base side, and Kluber all the way over on the first base side.
It's wherever you're comfortable. I happen to think that if you're a right-hander, working on the third base side gives your breaking ball a little more deception. But Kluber's had pretty good success from where he is.
Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Popped up left side. They'll run out of room. It'll be in the seats. Great to have you with us, George Grand, Chris Welsh, and of course our pregame crew of Jeff Pecoro, Brian Giesenslaw, ready for Reds Live postgame will be coming your way. Jim Day off today, celebrating the graduation of his stepson. He'll be back with us tomorrow. Nubbed in front of the mound. DeSclafani will gobble it up and take care of it. So 2 strikeouts and a dribbler surround a double, and the Reds still lead at 1-0. Cincinnati Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio, being brought to you by Meyer. By your local Ford dealer. Ford, go further. And by Cincinnati Children's, ranking 3rd in the country on United States News and World Report's best children's hospital. Speaking of the best, earlier today, right before the ball game, Rick Manning celebrating the anniversary of his debut as a major leaguer, May the 23rd, 1975. Got to toss out the first pitch to his son. Wife Sue and the family were here. Great guy, Archie, and of course he works for Fox Sports Ohio up in the Cleveland area. 26 years he's been doing Indian games, and over the years we've had so many great moments with him. Outstanding defensive outfielder, Gold Glove winner, and an outstanding broadcaster too. And for many years he worked as a minor league coach, and during spring training would spend time working on base running and defense. There's Arch. Had those throwback 1975 jerseys given out. There's a line shot by Billy Hamilton, but the shortstop Ramirez hauls it in, and Hamilton's retired.
For the Reds, stepping to the plate, second baseman Brandon Phillips.
Kluber thus far has allowed the Reds a total of 6 hits and a run. Reds have left 4 on. The 1 run for Cincinnati came in the second, single by Bruce, double by Pena, and a sacrifice fly from Cozart. He's allowed the Reds at least 1 hit in every inning. They'll play Phillips straight away. Brandon singled in the first, erased on a double play, struck out in the third. Rocket into center. That's a base hit for Brandon. He'll take a big turn. Bourne over, scoops it up, and Phillips will settle for 1. And boy, I think that toe, Chris, he just, either the toe or the ankle, he twisted it as he went around the bag, and Billy Hatcher's checking with him right now. He hit the bag and he almost skidded to a stop right away.
Well, we'll take another look at it and see if there's something that you see. I mean, he's taking a turn right here hard, and he's taking up, and they put the brakes on, and that's where it hurts right there. Looks like it's the right foot. Is that where his turf toe is? No, he's holding the left. Holding the left one up.
Paul Lessard went out to check him out, and he just kept waving him away, so I'm not going anywhere. So
probably stealing on the first pitch.
Yep. We're in Cleveland, the old Jim Brown move, right?
Exactly.
Limped back to the huddle and then tore off a 40-yarder. Here's Skip Schumacher, grounded to second twice, once into a double play and once into a ground out. Game of managing, not easy at the major league level. Schumacher steps out, takes a look at Jim Riggleman, who rolls through signs, and one of the, especially in the National League, one of the toughest things is to try to get your bench players at bats as the season progresses. Kluber from the stretch. Here's the 0-1. Slice the other way and foul. I know Whitey Herzog always said he thought it was his job to get his bench players 10 to 12 at bats a week. So by the time the season was over, they had around 200 at bats. That meant you started them once, you double switched them into a game, and you pinch hit them a couple of times. If you don't do that and you wind up in September with 100 at bats, you're not really giving your bench players a chance to succeed. Not easy to do, though. 0-2. Bobble by Santana. Had a chance for 2. He'll settle for 1. Good job by Kluber to get over there and cover the bag. So 3 ground balls to the right side from Schumacher. Runner in scoring position. So far, the Reds 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position with hits, although they do have the sacrifice fly from Cozart. Here's Votto, single to right, and double to center.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Kluber pitch around Votto right here. He has been all over just about everything that Kluber has thrown on the day. Both of his hits have been solid line drives.
So far in the first 5 innings.
And I think one came off a fastball, one came off a breaking ball. So I mean, it's not like he's got a pitch left out there that Votto's not seeing well. You got a base open. You got a right-hander that you've handled coming up next. This guy's too smart to kind of force an issue if he doesn't have to.
Reds have come up with some of their best grind them out at bats in the recent stretch where they've been on this losing streak. The Cozart at bat was a key in that second inning.
I mean, a hit would have been better, but a fly ball was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Not often you say that.
1-0 is up and away.
That's one of those things that does not go into what your production is with runners in scoring position. That's another reason why that particular stat can be really misleading.
2 balls, no strikes to Joey. Setting up, down and away. That breaking ball's in there. Chris, you've had some great interviews over the years with guys like Maddox and Glavine and other great pitchers. And I mean, I can remember some of the interviews that I've kept, and I still have old tapes of them. And one from Ted Williams. And he said, you know, when I get to 2 strikes, I choke up. But I choke up mentally. And when you think about it, what he meant was I make everything tighter. There goes Phillips. There's nobody covering third, and he'll steal the bag. Gimp or not, he gets the bag stolen. They didn't watch him. Pulled wide of the bag was Chisenhall, so Brandon gets the stolen bag.
Well, you wonder, though, if maybe that disrupted Votto, seeing Brandon Phillips run out of the corner of his eye right there, and that's why he took that pitch for a strike.
That's a called third strike. Votto retired. The Reds strand a runner at third and still lead it 1-0. Off with a bang with Fireworks Fridays at Great American Ballpark. Best fireworks in baseball right in the Queen City. Friday, May 29th, cheer on your Reds when they take on the Nationals. Plus, stick around after the game for a spectacular Fireworks Friday show presented by KOI Auto Parts. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or reds.com/tickets. The number 1 home run hitter in the National League, Bryce Harper, and the number 2 home run hitter will be in that series. Of course, Todd Frazier's second in the league with home runs right now. Here's Nick Swisher, the switch hitter, to lead off the 5th. They'll overshift against Swisher. He bounced into a 3-6 double play, brilliantly turned by Joey Votto in the second. Swisher, Chisenhall, Jose Ramirez. That misses inside. 3 notes to update you on if you're just joining us. Brian Price ejected for the 2nd time this year, 4th time in his career. Before the game ever started, when they were exchanging lineup cards in the aftermath of yesterday's questioning of Manny Gonzalez ball strike calls behind home plate, he was ejected by Jim Reynolds. Bouncer to the right side. Before the game, the Reds manager announcing that Johnny Cueto will be skipped from his start scheduled for tomorrow. Raisel Iglesias will pitch against Trevor Bauer. Cueto telling us a little stiffness in the forearm, and they've not given a start date for him or a prognostication as to where they may go. I mean, it might be a couple of days. I'll wait and see how he feels, how it calms down over the next couple of days. And again today, Devin Mesoraco not serving as a designated hitter after he tried to squat down and assume catching positions. He's had some stiffness, and in all probability he's heading towards what will be an eventual stint on the disabled list and surgery. That'll be decided when the Reds head home after this series. Fly ball to center. Swisher's retired, 1 away. Let's hear from Devin Mesoraco as he talks about his status.
To go out there and not be able to get in a normal catching position that I'm used to is definitely disappointing. And then, compound that with feeling worse after I try to do all that stuff. That's just not a good thing.
Chris, you just hurt for the young man because he wants to be out there so badly, and he's done everything that he can do to be out there.
Oh, the Reds need him.
Yep.
I mean, this guy was penciled in to be not just a starting catcher where he's going to catch the bulk of games, but also the number 4 hitter in the lineup. It's a tough piece to replace, although Brian Pena's done a nice job.
Here's Chisenhall, popped to short first time up.
The Indians have tried the best they can to maybe throw as many left-handers in the lineup as they possibly can. In fact, including the switch hitters, they got 3 of those. 8 of the 9 hitters that DeSclafani faces this afternoon are left-handed, and he's come right after them, believed in his fastball, used his breaking ball nicely, and it's been a really good experience so far for Anthony DeSclafani.
And Chris, we talked about it before the game started, and we're starting to see the product of that now. It might have had some effect on the numbers here for DeSclafani.
Yeah, the splits are really telling because he handles right-handers because he's got one of the best sliders around when he gets it going right. But lefties have always given him problems this year. So, he's figured out, and the more you see, the better you get at it. So, and the more confidence you have being able to move that fastball around. This is a lot more like what we saw from DeSclafani really from day 1 in spring training on.
Left center field. Here comes Hamilton, and he got it. He got it. Billy Hamilton outran the baseball, and he gets a pump in the air from DeSclafani. Great catch by Hamilton. Last night he picked one off the warning track and paid the price for it, scraping his hand. Here he's got grass to land on. A brilliant Gold Glove effort from Billy Hamilton. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Last night, Billy Hamilton went a long way to right center field to pick one off the wall, and then the other way, sliding on the grainy warning track here, he skidded and hit his right hand and his left hand, scraped both of them, making that catch. And then this one today, Chris, what a dandy.
Boy, I'll tell you what, this ball was slashing off the bat of Ramirez, and I really thought that that ball was going to fall in there, and all of a sudden, Hamilton just really, as you said, George, outran the baseball. That's about as close as you can describe it. I mean, that's a nice look at the very end, but it gives you no way appreciation of how far he had to go get that. That's when we need that newfangled stats cast.
You come up with a lot of newfangled stuff.
No, they're working at it, I think, all the time now in all in the national Fox television games. We'll just look at real speed. Nice.
Both of his palms and wrists were scraped after last night's catch, and he had to figure a similar story after that, although he hit grass there.
That's a steak dinner from DeSclafani right there.
You're not kidding. And for Billy, a steak will last about 3 meals. Boy, he may have struggled offensively, but defensively hasn't missed a beat. He's been exceptional the last 2 years. Broken bat, center field, that'll drop for a hit. So the Reds have a leadoff hitter on in the 6th. Frazier's first hit. He's 1 for 3.
5 of the 6 innings they have had the leadoff hitter on against Kluber this afternoon. I mean, that's the kind of outing that Kluber's not used to having. He did have a run of about 3 or 4 of these outings where, he'd pitch okay and then all of a sudden have one real bad inning, and that's what's kind of blown it up for him. But got to take advantage of him on games like this.
Here's Jay, stretched his hitting streak to 6 straight in the 2nd with a single, and scored on a sacrifice fly later in the inning by Cozart. Then he doubled the lead off the 4th. Never did score, was left stranded as he was thrown out trying to go to 3rd on a ground ball from Pena to the first baseman. They nailed him at 3rd. Pena was left on base to end the inning. From the stretch is Kluber. If the Reds are going to get untracked offensively, this big right fielder's got to be part of the core of that, and so far he's turning it around of late. Fly ball right center field. Frazier goes halfway. Moss has it, 1 away. Got out in front of a little bit and hit it off the end of the bat. Following each and every game, don't forget here on Reds Baseball, Fox Sports Ohio will make sure that you'll be up to date on everything that's happening with Performance Kings Honda Reds Live. For a complete recap of the game, interviews from the locker room, and a whole lot more, stay with us for Performance Kings Honda Reds Live. Great to have you with us. Down in the truck as usual, Josh Hall, our producer, Brian Hunterman. Hunterman's made the trip up north to Cleveland, directing today's ball game. There goes Frazier, a bouncer down to 2nd. They won't get one at 2nd, but will get the out at 1st. Good job by Kipnis. He tried to make the catch and the tag, but Frazier got past him. So 2 away, runner at 2nd.
Well, the Reds try to take advantage anytime they can against a pitcher that doesn't hold runners great. Now, last year it was a good job by Kluber to hold runners. In fact, they threw out more runners and he gave up stolen bases. This year, not quite as much, maybe because his normal catcher's not around. But the little sneaky lead by Frazier at first base at least gets him to 2nd and keeps the Reds out of a double play ball, and Pitt will get him another run.
Here's Cozart, sacrifice fly, plated a run in the 2nd for the Reds. He bounced to 3rd, 2nd time up. Also down in the truck with us, of course, Matt Sigafus dialing up some of those highlights for you. Those Billy Hamilton highlights you saw. Lauren White graphically giving us a picture, as she always does, of today's ball game. Jesse's up here in the booth with us. Jesse Jackson. So far, we've kept him in the booth and out of jail in Cleveland. That's pretty good. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reds Live, produced by Kent Dream Weaver. And Brian Giesenklaw and Jeff Pecora will be by with the postscript of this one when it's all said and done from our spanking new studios in Cincinnati. Fly ball right field. Moss in the corner. Under it, he's got it. So the Reds get a leadoff hit, nothing to show for it. Clinging to a 1-0 lead. Perez up when we return. And don't forget, the Cavaliers return home after last night's win to take a 2-0 series lead in the NBA playoffs. They host Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow. It'll be right here in Cleveland. Our home team starting 5, as you covered before the game, starting at 7:30, has all the post-game interviews and analysis after the game. Time to go all in with the Cavs on Fox Sports Ohio. Boy, it was rocking and rolling down here last night, Chris. Had 23,000 plus here, and they just about sold out the queue next door as they broadcast the game from Atlanta. And by the time this game ended, that game ended. It was like the old days here in downtown Cleveland. The place was jammed.
And they had fireworks.
LeBron's something else, isn't he? Man. No love, no Kyrie Irving. He just took charge of the game. Some guys have a knack to be bigger than the moment, and LeBron James is showing that. Here's Roberto Perez, struck out back in the 3rd. Well, all the billing was for Corey Kluber, but Anthony DeSclafani's matched him pitch by pitch, inning for inning so far, Chris.
Yeah, this is one of those games, though, you're going to keep a tight rein on him because you certainly don't want to get the game, let it get away from you. You know, for DeSclafani, I mean, he ought to feel plenty strong. He only went 3 innings his last start. So, you know, the good news is you've got plenty of arm strength. The bad news is sometimes you lose a little bit of feel when you don't get a long outing previous to. But he's been really good and somewhat efficient with his pitches so far.
Two balls, 1 strike to the Indians catcher. Starting tomorrow, Perez will go back to mostly backup duty. Yan Gomes will be back to catch
This guy has 14 hits and he's walked 19 times and he's batting 179.
The anomalies of the game of baseball. 3-1. Pena will go out and check with his right-hander.
Pena probably just noticed that on the scoreboard too. Say, hey, did you know this guy's batting 179?
The Babe Ruth is dead lecture.
Again. I mean, you just serve it up to him, say, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how far you can hit it. If you can do it, great.
Full count, 3-2. When Yan Gomes comes back tomorrow, he'll catch Bauer tomorrow, but probably will not catch back-to-back games for at least a week or so as they try to get him back after his knee injury. Popped up. Is there room for Votto? Foul territory. One away.
It's a really nice comeback right there by DeSclafani. Fell behind on the count, and maybe it was just a nice timely visit to the mound by Brian Pena to kind of shake him up a little bit.
More and more likely, Chris, that Devin Mesoraco has caught his last game of this year, probably heading to the disabled list. How do you assess the Reds' catching scenario now?
What you see is what you got. I mean, you've got Tucker Barnhart and Brian Pena. Pena will carry the load, and Barnhart will fill in from here and there.
Pena scoops it, flips it, got him. Bourne retired, 2 away. Well, you cannot minimize the importance of what Pena has meant to this Reds team the last couple of years. I mean, what
really
he's
amazing.
done on the field is one thing. What he's done in the clubhouse, what he's done as a mentor to some of these pitchers, unbelievable.
Well, you know, he's a catcher, but last year he was forced into playing first base most of the time when Joey Votto was on the disabled list. This year he's getting a lot more catching than he ever thought. He was brought in here to be a backup, and he's turned himself into a team leader. That's one of the things you don't expect that happens that turns out great in a trade that you make.
But it's a great example that, I mean, it's nice if your best player is your leader, but teams are led by players, not by managers and coaches. It's players that really run a clubhouse and lead a team. And it doesn't have to be one person. It could be 3 or 4 leading in different ways. And that's what Brian Pena brings to the table. 2 balls, no strikes to Kipnis, who struck out twice, down and in, missing, and it's 3-0. That's a strike.
Kipnis didn't like it.
Joined the club from last night, right? It's funny, the scoreboard tells a lot as to who likes and doesn't like ball strike calls. Line drive. Can anybody get there? Bosch. Does he hold on?
No.
Drops it, and it'll be a base hit. Brandon came over, got a glove on it, but couldn't squeeze it. So it's a base hit with 2 outs for Kipnis.
You know, that's not an easy field to play right now because the sun is just about right in your eyes. It never really got up in the air very high. And he's got it in his glove. If he can just close the glove around the baseball, he'll hold on to it. Maybe he jumped right out of there like it was live.
And he almost got a hand on it before it hit the dirt.
Looks a lot easier in slow-mo, doesn't it?
Yeah. So 2 out, runner on, and here's Santana, 1 for 2, a double and a strikeout. From the stretch is DeSclafani.
Kipnis has 5 bags stolen. I don't know if they're going to take a chance here or not.
He's been caught twice on the season. The team does not steal a lot. They have only 25 stolen bases on the year. That's a strike. Runner not going. Pitch up and away for a ball. 1-1. Runner not going again. That's wide. Another ball. 2-1. 2 away ahead in the count. Might they send Kipnis here? Sandy Alomar over from the coach's box next to Kipnis, then heads back to his box. From the stretch, DeSclafani. Runner not going. And that breaking ball is down and in. It's 3-1. Second straight 3-1 count. Third 3-ball count of the inning. Jay Bell, the acting manager after Brian Price was ejected before the game by Jim Reynolds. There goes the runner. Here comes the pitch. That is a strike, and it's 3-2. Stolen base. Number 6 for Kipnis. Never did make a call, did he?
He never did raise his right hand, and that's why when you said it was a strike, I thought maybe he just got in the way of the umpire. We didn't see it from the center field camera. Jay Bell wants to know, wait a minute, did you give him first base on 3 balls or 4 balls? And Jay Bell is asking him for a little math review.
So it was ball 4. So down to first goes Santana. It's first and second.
If Jay Bell gets ejected, who takes over from there?
Get ready, go down there.
No.
So now the tying runs in scoring position, and here comes Murphy.
Yeah, and if you're Murphy, you're thinking, all right, here's a guy that got 2 outs real quick. He just walked the last batter. I'm looking for a first pitch fastball right down Broadway, and I'm letting it hammer.
Kipnis, good speed out at second, representing the tying run. DeSclafani from the stretch. That's high for ball 1.
Trying to mix in a few more changeups this time around. DeSclafani did not use that pitch really the first 2 or 3 innings.
Brandon Moss on deck for the Indians. Interesting, Chris, you talk about the sun and the way it's affected this game. We talked about early on that it would be a factor in the later stages of the game. Look at Brandon Moss out in right. He's turned his back as the pitch is delivered to try to get a better angle so he's not looking right at that sun.
Well, it's going to get worse before it gets better for the right fielder. It's also going to get worse for the first baseman fielding any kind of throw from third base or a pickoff move from the pitcher's mound.
And Bosch in right is almost facing the foul line. That's a bouncer through into center. Here comes Hamilton. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's going to be wide. It's a tie game. It all happened with 2 outs, a single, a walk, and a single, and we're tied at 1.
Well, he takes it right back through the middle, does David Murphy. And Billy Hamilton really doesn't have a shot to get the runner right here. And Brian Pena makes a heck of a play at the end to keep that ball from going all the way to the backstop and advancing the runners another base.
Pena's got to go a long way just to block that.
I mean, that was so far offline that the cutoff man, Bono, couldn't even get to it. So now they're talking about the strategy of pitching to Brandon Moss. Moss hasn't done much. He's walked and he's grounded back to the pitcher. But in this inning, things are beginning to unravel just a little bit for DeSclafani. And you're probably reminding him, if you're Jeff Pico, to stay aggressive out there. Don't start pitching defensively now.
And as yet, there's no one up throwing in the Reds bullpen. Now at 92 pitches. DeSclafani peers in for a sign. Here's Moss. He walked and bounced back to the pitcher. Change up, big swing, strike one.
What a great call on that pitch. Everybody in the ballpark's looking for a fastball there. That's a pitch, as he gets more and more experience in the major leagues, is really going to serve him well.
That's it. Caught by Votto. He saved a run, maybe two. Joey Votto, his second brilliant play of the day. He'll get some high fives as he gets to the bench. Votto saved the day for DeSclafani. We remain tied at 1. Another look at Joey's brilliant leaping catch of this line drive. Summary: the Reds get a sacrifice fly from Zach Cozart to take a 1-0 lead in the second. Then defense is the story. Joey Votto, a brilliant double play. They get the tag at second to snuff out one rally. Billy Hamilton, a third brilliant catch of this series in left center field. And then a base hit banged right back through the middle from Murphy ties the game at 1 in the 6th. Well, that's where we are. We're tied 1-1. Corey Kluber back to work facing Brennan Bosch as we lead off the 7th. But Votto saved the day with that leaping stab of the line drive that would have played it at least 1 and possibly 2. Hopper down to second. Kipnis has it. Another look, Chris, at Joey's play.
Well, the timing of the jump has to be perfect, and you got to get up there a little bit. That ball was smoked, and Votto fired up himself by getting up there to make that catch.
Highlight reel stuff from Joey V.
He's had one heck of a day defensively down there at first base. We've not seen him have a defensive day like this in a long, long time.
You know, how many times have you seen it over the years, too, when he has a day like this? You know, in his MVP year, he came up big late in the game, too, with the bat. See if he can pull one out of his hat today. Here's Billy. Hamilton flied to center and lined to short. In tied at third is Chisenhall. Even with the bag at first is Santana. That's a rocket into right, a base hit for Billy. Now let's see if the stolen base becomes part of the Red story here in the 7th inning. 1 out, 1 on. Billy's sitting there with 17 out of 19.
Well, I imagine it's just not a matter of if Hamilton's going to steal, but when. And I'm sure that they've got a signal worked out between them, Billy Hamilton and Brandon Phillips, who's coming to the plate. So if Hamilton wants a pitch to go on, he probably gives a little sign to Phillips, and if it's early enough in the count, Phillips won't swing, or he'll give a decoy swing.
Phillips 2 for 3, 2 singles, a stolen base, and a strikeout this afternoon. Short lead for Billy. Kluber from the stretch.
Big lead now.
Inches off. He's going. Santana's throw will be in time. He got him on the back. Now is Billy okay? That elbow slammed into or did he hit his head against?
No, I think it's his shoulder or his arm, George. He went head first into the bag again, and you can see him out there. That's a combination of anger and pain. I mean, the throw was right on the bunny. And I think, again, his left shoulder went into the shin of the defender.
Yeah.
And we've seen that before. Oh, his finger.
Oh.
Well, from that angle, we see the finger, but I think that they're talking about his shoulder. And that head first sliding, of course, most speedsters like to do it that way. But it opens you up for so many different opportunities to get hurt. The defender gets the ball, putting his foot down, and his shoulder right into the inside of the shin of Ramirez.
Ramirez played it perfectly to block off the bag, and Billy paid the price by slamming into the shin and the leg.
He's having a hard time even getting up. I mean, if you have a hard time standing up, that's not good at all.
Paul Lassard, the trainer, will march off the field with him. I'm all right. I'm all right. Now, we talk about it so often, Chris. Very difficult to change the way you've learned how to slide in your career, but those head first slides with your hands, your legs, your shoulders, those vulnerable parts, the legs can take a lot more punishment than the hands, the elbows, and the shoulders.
Well, they also can deliver a little punishment too.
Yep.
Fielders don't put their feet down in front of you when you come in their feet first. If they know you're a head first slider, they can put their whole leg down there with no fear at all. Roberto Perez behind the plate, though, every time he's been asked to throw a runner out, he's done that. I know Yan Gomes is their #1 guy, but man, oh man, this kid behind the plate has done a nice job.
Biggest defensive play of the afternoon for the Indians right there, the throw by Roberto Perez. He nailed 2 Reds last night trying to steal second as well. A base runner erased, and here is Phillips, a swing and a miss. Strike 3, and the Reds, a 1 out, 1 on situation turns into nothing in the 7th. To the bottom of 7, tied at 1. Hey fans, time to vote for your Cincinnati Reds All-Stars. Vote 35 times on the 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot at Reds.com. Voting exclusively online this year. Available on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Vote early, vote often. Vote Reds today at Reds.com. Now, he may be somewhat frail in terms of weight, but Billy Hamilton's one tough hombre. He came marching out of the dugout. He's heading back to center field. That's good news, Chris.
You know, I'm not sure if it was his shoulder or his hand. He keeps moving his hand a little bit, but then he's also kind of rotating his arm as if his shoulder was stiff. Meanwhile, DeSclafani will take the mound for the 7th time today. They're beginning to get a little action in the Reds bullpen, and that's a good idea because you don't want this inning to get away from you too quickly. Looks like Tony Cingrani is going to be the guy up and throwing.
Here's Nick Swisher, the switch hitter, bounced into a double play, fly to center, 0 for 2. Now approaching the 100 pitch mark is DeSclafani. He had a lengthy 6th inning when he went to 3 ball counts on 4 batters in the inning. And only a great play by Joey Votto allowed him to remain tied at the end of the inning. Reds will overshift to the right side on Swisher. Breaking ball misses inside. 2-2. Rip foul down the right field line. Count stays 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I want to send out a big Reds wish to a young man who's been dealt a really tough hand when it comes to some medical problems. He was up in the Cleveland Clinic this week, not to watch the Reds, unfortunately, but he's back in the Natty, got us dialed in. Bill Case, a huge Reds fan, and we want to send our best wishes out to Bill. And thanks for watching.
Get well, Bill. Big swing by Swisher. He's retired. That's a strikeout for DeSclafani, strikeout number 6 on the afternoon.
Well, that's a great changeup that he throws right here. I mean, after getting a breaking ball inside, he goes with a super arm action. I mean, as he gets more and more experience in the big leagues, that pitch, which you just see glimpses of it now, how good it is. When he starts getting a handle on the consistency, that's a pitch of which he can handle left-handers with.
Everybody acknowledges that the best pitch in baseball is a well-located fastball. The changeup number 2.
I think the first and second are well-located fastballs, and then the changeup. Although some guys, their best second pitch is a slider, other guys it's a changeup, maybe a splitter. If you're a reliever, sometimes you go with 2 pitches, and your 2 best may not even include a changeup. Look at Aroldis Chapman. I mean, his 3rd best pitch is a changeup, and people who have charted that pitch will say that it's the most unfair pitch in baseball because you'd never see anybody make contact on it. But he doesn't throw it that very often.
3-0 to Chisenhall. That's a strike. Chisenhall pop to short, pop to third, 0 for 2. Sky high fly ball into right center. Hamilton will take charge, and you would figure, Chris, anything in right center right now, the center fielder would try to take charge because the right fielder is looking right into the sun. And don't far be a part of the Major League Baseball All-Star action in Cincinnati on Sunday, July the 12th. Tickets available online at allstargame.com. Get your tickets now. Going to be a great week of activities in the Queen City. Here's Votto just about leaning on the bag at first for Jose Ramirez. I mean, now he backs up. He was 1 step off the line looking for a possible bunt and guarding a line. A little low, 1-1. Now, even if you don't go to the All-Star game, the All-Star experience is going to just blanket the Cincinnati area, and we hope you're going to be part of it. Popped up. Is there going to be room for Pena? Warning track, looking up. He's got it. Good bounce back from DeSclafani. We're heading to the 8th in a 1-1 ball game. Schumacher, Votto, Frazier due up. Thanks, guys. Looking forward to your post-game festivities from our spanking new studio. The day is done for DeSclafani, Chris, and boy, what a day he's had here.
Oh, you're not kidding. He's got to just feel so rejuvenated after having that kind of an outing, scuffling for a little bit, coming back and pitching a big game when the Reds needed it. I mean, they're facing Corey Kluber today, who's been very stingy. He gave up a run to the Reds in the second inning, and that's just been about all that they've been able to sniff.
7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks for DeSclafani. Kluber's still in there as we're heading to top of the 8th. Schumacher, Votto, Frazier due up. Reds trying to touch up the brilliant right-hander for the Indians. The Reds have picked up 9 hits off Corey Kluber on this afternoon. They had him on the ropes a couple of times early. 2 hits in the first, 2 hits in the second, a double in the third, a leadoff double in the fourth, a single in the fifth, and a single in the sixth, as well as another base hit in the seventh. They were only able to get 1 run home in the second inning after a single by Bruce and a double by Pena. A sacrifice fly by Cozart chased up home the only run that the Reds had. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Schumacher. 3 ground balls to the infield, 0 for 3. Lined into right, coming in, reaching out, nailing it is Moss. Our key in the driver's seat final line for the 25-year-old Anthony DeSclafani. Chris, your report card on him.
Well, I mean, the scoreboard is a report card, and you go 7 innings, give up 1 run in a 1-1 ball game, and you've done a heck of a good job right there. What he's done is been able to cut his walks down, and that has been so key for DeSclafani here this afternoon, throwing a lot of strikes, coming right after the hitters.
Here's Joey, single to right, double to center, struck out looking. Breaking ball just misses. Frazier on deck. Votto's contribution has been with the bat, those 2 hits and 2 brilliant defensive plays as well today. One a 3-6 double play, another a leaping catch of a line drive that would have plated 1 and maybe 2. Votto sitting on 7 homers and 21 knocked in on the season.
Yeah,
off to a brilliant April start, but struggled in May.
Be a good time to get number 8 on the board right here, although it's got to be tough to see the ball right now. The pitcher's in the sun, everything else is in the shade around home plate.
That breaking ball just wide.
You got different contrasting backgrounds in the outfield. I mean, this area here is tough, and then up here is your batting eye, and it's just, you know, it's light, dark, light, dark. It's very difficult not to see the ball, but the spin of the ball.
And we'll go 3-1.
Of course, a guy like Votto has exceptional eyesight. Most big league hitters have eyesight that, when compared to the general population, simply off the charts.
Let it fly. 3-1. 3-2. DeSclafani 108 pitches as Jay Bell looks on. Kluber approaching the 100 pitch mark. Nub down to second. Kipnis has it, and Votto retired 2 away. And here comes Frazier. 1 for 3, a single to center in the 6th.
Well, a typical day for Corey Kluber, in as much as when he pitches, the Indians don't score. I mean, that's one reason why he is 1-5 on the year. When you look at the run support that he averages, he is the lowest in the American League. And that's a list you don't necessarily want to be on right there, because the chances are you're not winning very many games, even though you're pitching well.
Ask Johnny Cueto about that, huh?
He's an expert.
Yeah.
He's known it year after year.
Here's Frazier. 1 for 3. Breaking ball, big swing. And if you joined us late, the 3 notes: Brian Price ejected from the game before the game ever started. Continuing the argument from yesterday on the calls from home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez. Jay Bell running the club in his absence. Brian ejected for the 2nd time this year and the 4th time in his career. Another breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
Well, it's pretty obvious that you can't see the spin on the breaking ball right now. I mean, Frazier's hacking it. He hacks a lot of pitches down and away anyhow. But I mean, if you're Kluber, do you throw him anything but the same thing you just got that swing out of? Yeah, you can blow him away with a fastball, I guess, too.
Zip, zip, zip. Tough to see it right now. We're going to the bottom of 8. Still tied at 1. Perez will lead it off. Ohio, all the info you need for every single game. Reds Live presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. If you're with us before the game today, you'll learn that Johnny Cueto would miss his start tomorrow. Raisel Iglesias will start in his place. Some stiffness in his right forearm. And you also learn that Devin Mesoraco would not be DHing today. Mesoraco still battling that hip difficulty. Heading home, and in all probability heading to the disabled list, and Chris eventually probably surgery as well. So those two tidbits will be followed up even more completely by Jeff Pecoro, Brian Giesenslaw on the postgame show. And right now, trying to keep it where it is the Reds left-hander.
Been just about a week since Tony Cingrani has towed the rubber. He was last in a Reds ball game last Sunday when the Reds played the San Francisco Giants. 14th game overall for Tony. Look at the strikeouts and walks. The only thing that can really hurt you in this ball game right now, if you're Cingrani, is not the ability to throw the ball over the plate. Cleanly shaven Tony, by the way.
Strike one, way to start it.
Maybe he donated that beard of his to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Just around the corner from here, it's been some of our greatest visits here, hasn't it? Greg Smith, president of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and formerly with the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, has always been so welcoming to the whole Reds party. Had an off day on Thursday, and a bunch of the guys went over to see the newest exhibits. Here's Roberto, struck out, popped up for the third time. DeSclafani very judicious in his pitch count tonight, getting to 100 pitches into the 8th inning. The only damage came in the 6th. Single, walk, single. And the game was tied. That's a strike. 2-2. What's the best thing you've seen at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? What meant the most to you?
I thought the Bruce Springsteen exhibit was just outstanding.
Yep. We were fortunate we got to see him in St. Louis when Mark McGwire was going for the home run record.
Wow. Of course, really the best thing I saw were those tickets you left in my name, those comp tickets. Those were tremendous too, George. Thank you.
Full count, 3-2. Not the way he wanted to start.
Here he is
lead-off
again.
batter walk.
Mr. Walkathon. 20 times this year Roberto Perez has walked, and he's batting under 180. Go figure. I mean, his on-base percentage is up around 340. Why pinch hit for a guy who's hitting 179 when you know he's going to get on with a walk?
Mike Aviles will pinch run for him. We'll see what they do with Aviles.
It's like he's got a force field around the strike zone when he steps up there.
Bourne, good bunter, so either way he can bunt for a hit or sacrifice here. And they'll throw over, and Bourne was starting to pull the bat back.
Well, that would look like Tony's good move right there, and I'm sure that the Indians know all about Cingrani and his move to first base. Bourne squared around on that. That ball came way inside, and he got caught. He probably wanted to pull the bat back, but couldn't do it.
Frazier walk it in from third. Votto holding the runner at first. Cingrani peers in for his sign. Bourne at the plate. Runner not going. He's heading back to first. They got a shot at second. The throw will get one at second, and they'll exchange runners, but good speed down at first anyways. Now you got Bourne at first. One to 6 on the putout, and here comes Kipnis with Bourne at first.
You know, it's always nice to see this happen because you always think it's only your team that can't get a bunt down. Well, other teams struggle as well.
You're right. Especially in one-run games, huh? Here's Bourne. Nearly 300 stolen bases in the last 6 years, but his stolen base numbers have dropped dramatically in the last couple of years. A lot of that has to do with injury. Stolen only 36 of 57 as an Indian. They'll chase him back. And Joey's got to battle that sun on the throws over from the mound too. He's got a green light all the time, and he's also battling the sun as he tries to get the move. He's not going anywhere. Fly ball left center field. Will anybody get there? It's one hop to the wall. Bourne's off to the races. He's around third. They're going to send him. He's coming to the plate and will score the go-ahead run here in the 8th. Kipnis has been a killer, and he does it again. 2 more hits today. His 20th run batted in. He's been red hot in the month of May, and he's given the Indians a 2-1 lead here in the 8th.
I'll tell you what, the guy is really impressive, and he has done this against the left-hander, something he has not done much at all this year against. I mean, he's a 200 hitter against lefties, and he's over a 420 hitter against righties. But he finds the left center field gap, and that's why Bourne is in the ball game, because he can scoot, and he scores all the way from first base.
And he's in scoring position with Santana coming to the plate. Indians have managed to scrape up only 4 hits, but they've produced 2 runs and now lead it 2-1 here in the 8th. Kipnis, good speed off second. Big swing. 0-2. Santana struck out, double to right, and walked. One ball, 2 strikes to the Indians' first baseman. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th, Jay Bruce, the designated hitter. Pena and Cozart due up 5, 6, and 7 for the Reds. And the dirt, good block by Pena. Closer for the Indians, Cody Allen up and loosening. He's blown only 1 save this year. The Indians have struggled in attendance all year, averaging around 15,000 a game, but the last 2 days they had 23,000 last night, 27,319 here this afternoon, and they're trying to pull out another victory. Cingrani will toss it over to Votto. They'll get the out. A runner will go to third. So Kipnis is at third with 2 away. And here comes Murphy. Ryan Rayburn is now moved out of the dugout. He will pinch hit for Murphy. He's part of a rotating outfield platoon. Been hot of late. Rayburn will pinch hit for Murphy here in the bottom of the 8th. And the Reds will talk things over. You got Moss due up next. The lefty swinging Brandon Moss. They want to remind you that you can cheer on the Reds coming up on Saturday, May the 30th, when they take on the Washington Nationals at Great American Ballpark. Part of Super Saturdays. First 25,000 fans in attendance will receive a Billy Hamilton bobblehead presented by Cincinnati Bell. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or reds.com/tickets. They'll walk Rayburn and deal with Moss. Brandon today, a walk, a bouncer back to the pitcher, and a looping line drive that Joey Votto climbed the ladder, speared it out of the air. Had he not caught it, it would have been probably a 2-run double. That was back in the 6th inning. So Rayburn marches down to first. It's 1st and 3rd with 2 away, and here comes Moss. No one working in the Reds bullpen. Cody Allen continues to loosen in the Indians pen. Missing wide for ball 1.
What you want to be careful of if you're Tony Cingrani, I know you want to show a move over there, but you don't want to put such a good move on that you get called for a balk right here, because you never really know.
Dancing around the outside corner, and it's 2-0.
I would imagine Moss is not going to let a strike on a 2-0 count go by him right here. He's not looking for a walk.
The switch hitter, the designated hitter, Nick Swisher on deck. Big swing there, and it's 2-1. Popped up center field. Hamilton calling. Billy's got it, but the damage done. A leadoff walk. Oh, those walks. And a double by Kipnis. The Indians have a 2-1 lead as we head to the 9th. Cincinnati Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio has been brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, proud sponsor of the Cincinnati Reds, and by Cherry 5-Hour Energy Shots, helping support Special Operations Warrior Foundation. Another good crowd on hand in Cleveland, 27,000 plus on a bright sunshiny day. The sunshine for the Reds was Anthony DeSclafani, who pitched 7 innings, allowed 3 hits and a run, struck out 6, walked 2, 108 pitches, and Reds fans were impressed by the way he pitched. But in the 8th inning, after DeSclafani left in a 1-1 game, the Indians have pushed across a run, and it's last roundup time. The Reds will have to do some business against Cody Allen. Chris,
well, he's been a workhorse for the Indians the last few years. 77 games in 2013. Last year he was in 76 games, of which he saved 24 of them. He is the main closer now. He's 8 for 9 in save opportunities. But he's been known to get a little bit wild. He has 12 walks in 18 innings. So if you give him a chance, he might throw 4 balls before he throws 3 strikes.
3 of those walks came in a 4-run 9th inning by the White Sox, and they beat Corey Kluber and the Indians 4-3.
He's essentially a 2-pitch pitcher, and of course the Reds know that. He's a fastball curve guy. Fastball's around 95, 96. Good overhand, hard breaking ball. Some people more characterize it as almost a slider rather than a curveball. It's a strikeout pitch.
Jay Bruce, single, double, flied out. A single in the 2nd stretched his hitting streak to 6 straight.
He's looking for something up, outer third. He can get the barrel of the bat on, maybe line one out of here.
Bruce facing Allen for the first time. Jams him 2-2. Bruce will be followed by Pena and then Cozart. Allen from the windup. That's a call, strike 3, and Bruce knew it.
Well, it's got to be difficult to see. Shadows still on the field, and Allen just freezes Bruce with a fastball on that one, and I'm not even sure he ever saw that ball. I think we talked to the guys after the game, George, to tell you the same thing. This time of day here, it's even hard to take batting practice, much less hitting off a guy throwing mid-90s.
In the ever-evolving shadows now, the sun is shining on the home plate area, so that ball's coming out of shadows right into the light again just as it gets to home plate. Here's Pena, doubled, bounced out, bounced out. 2-0. Zach Cozart in the on-deck circle. Fastball at 96 in on the hands, pop foul, and it's 2-1. He thought he had a pitch there. Fouled off, 2-2. And we'll go full to Brian Pena. Hanging in, he slaps that one foul. Reds on this day have held their own against Corey Kluber. Kluber went 8 innings, struck out 7. The Reds are able to touch him for 9 hits, but only the 1 run. And Allen's trying to close things out here. Three-two. Bounce back over the second base bag. Quick flip, out number 2. Reds down to their final out. And that'll be in the personage of Zach Cozart. Cozart's one of the few Reds that has faced Allen. He's 0 for 2 against him. Joey Votto, a couple of hits today, but unless the Reds can extend a rally, won't get to come to the plate here in the 9th. That's up high for a ball. Bosch in the on-deck circle for Cincinnati, hoping that Cozart can keep it alive. Indians have struggled here at home coming into today after the win yesterday. They're only 7-12 at home and they're 500 on the road. So the fans here haven't had much to cheer about late in ball games. They're trying to cheer them home. Tito Francona's club starts the day 9 games out behind Kansas City in the Central. One. Yes, missing 2-1. Bosch 0 for 1 in his matchups against Allen. Sits in the on-deck circle. That's wide. And the Reds are hopeful of getting the possible tying run on. High in the air to left field. Long run for Ramirez. He's calling and he's got it. Well, the Reds got what they wanted from their young right-hander. A brilliant pitching effort from Anthony DeSclafani. 7 innings, 3-hit, 1-run baseball. But Jason Kipnis continues to have a miraculous month of May. His double in the 8th inning chased home the go-ahead run. And the Indians' first 5-game winning streak in a long time has propelled them to a victory 2-1 over the Reds. And Chris, a tough luck loss for the Reds on this day.
Well, a tough luck loss, but you expect it to be a low-scoring ball game when you're going to be against a guy like Corey Kluber. The Reds had their opportunities early on. They were able to get 1 run in a situation where they could have gotten a lot more with a key hit. As it turned out, Corey Kluber got his act together, mowed the Reds down the rest of the 7 innings that he pitched, and a nice win by the Indians, but a very disappointing day here by the Reds. Have now lost 2 in a row in Cleveland to extend this losing streak to 7.
More to talk about when we return from Progressive Field in Cleveland after these messages.